Hello, my name is Andrew Hall and I am a woodturner from Weardale in County Durham, England. What you're about to watch is a presentation that I've done making what I call a pixie fairy bowl with mushrooms. Here I'll show you what it looks like. So there we are, that's the finished article, and you're going to see me make it using only 4 tools. The tools that I'm going to use are 3 tools that are made by Hunter and a tool that is a traditional turning tool, which is a parting tool. The Hunter tools that I'm going to use are the Badger, the Viceroy and Hercules. Now the Hunter tools themselves, they come in a tube, and that's the tube there. And I'll open this one, let you see what's inside. Inside is the Viceroy tool in there. I'm using the cap to take the tool out because the actual cutter inside the tool is very, very sharp. So be careful when you take the tool out not to catch your finger on it, otherwise you'll cut it. And this particular cutter is held in position using a Torx screw, and you get a Torx wrench with the actual tool itself, and that Torx wrench fits into there to unloosen it. Now you can see it's nice and clean inside there. The reason for that is I've actually used this tool, but then I've cleaned it all out just with the point of an awl, or you could use a toothpick, or alternatively you could use a compass point or something like that, but anything just to be able to clean that out and make sure that it's kept nice and clean. The other thing that is suggested for these tools as well is to actually loosen off the Torx screw and just random move the cutter in between projects. And another suggestion that I would make is you could use, this is a CD or a DVD marker, and you could make a mark just on there, and then you can see where you've moved the actual cutter until that's gone round 360 degrees. The cutters last an awful long time. As I say, I've used this on the whole project and it's still razor sharp. There's information inside the tubes with regard to the actual tool itself and health and safety. And I think the most important thing to bear in mind is these tools, they actually come in both handled and unhandled. Now this particular tool is unhandled, and I would be putting it into this is a Hamlet handle which has the grub screws in there. I would tighten down the grub screws on here so that the tool is secure and safe to use, and I would always use it in the handle. I would never use the tool actually unhandled, always in the handle like that. But once I've finished actually turning with the tool, to maintain the tool as best that I can and keep it in its pristine condition, I would actually loosen the handle and I would take the tool out of the handle, and then I would clean out the Torx, undo the Torx. If I'd been working with wet wood, I'd make sure that I put some Vaseline or some grease or something to inhibit rust between the screw and the actual tool itself, and then tighten it back up again after rotating it just that little bit. So that's how I would maintain the tool. Now the other tool that I've used for this particular project, which is already in the handle, is the Hercules. And the Hercules there, you can see it's got a wax cap on there, and there's the tool in there. Now I haven't actually cleaned this one out, I've left it so that I could show you. So there we are, I'm just cleaning out the Torx on there, making sure there's no debris left inside, and then that will fit into there nicely to loosen that off. And again, rotate it. You can mark it using a pen, same as I did with the Viceroy, like that, and then you can see where you've actually moved the cutter. That's a permanent marker, that pen there. And again, in between use, take that off out of the handle, put the wax cap back on again. I'm just going to loosen the handle on here. There we go. This one is another Hamlet handle. It's actually a little bit longer than the other Hamlet handle that I showed you there, and I like it on the Hercules because you can turn some very sizable material on that. So that one's got a smaller Allen key in there, so all I'm going to do is just loosen that off there, and then I can take the tool out of the handle and I'll pop it back into its tube in between uses so that I'm protecting it and looking after it. The smashing tools, the engineering is brilliant, so you want to maintain the tool to its best possible standard. And again, if you're working with wet wood, make sure that you put some grease or something like that on, just to inhibit any rust particles from being produced. Now, I normally do a health and safety video at the start of every presentation that I do, and that health and safety video has worked with me for many years now, so I've got it and I'll actually play it for you now. Health and safety is paramount in the workshop, and what I always say to new students is, first thing you want to buy yourself is a smock. Get yourself a smock, something similar to this. That's a smock there. You'll see that I'll wear it all the time when I'm demonstrating and when I'm teaching and while I'm doing my IRDs, interactive remote demonstrations. So the smock is important. Good strong trousers. I don't like shorts. The tools that we use are very sharp. If you cut your leg with a pair of shorts on, you're going to cut your leg. And I also like to wear good quality boots. I actually wear steel toe cap boots and always have done through my working life to protect my feet. The next, what you must also do is protect your eyes. These are just ordinary glasses, and actually they're varifocals, that's what they are, but for me I don't really find them useful to wear underneath my visor. The best protection you can get is a visor, that one there. But what I tend to do is I'll take my glasses off and wear the visor. That's a Honeywell high impact visor, and buy the highest impact visor you can get, and it'll save your eyes, it'll save your face. So if you want to wear glasses instead of a visor, what I would suggest is at least try the wrap round ones like these. These are the yellow lens ones. I particularly like these, and what I've done, I put them on and you can see they've got a wrap round there, and they will protect your eyes nicely from the chips and the shavings. So that's my eyes protected. What we also need to protect are our lungs, and I have a Record Power AC400. I'm in a recording studio which is near enough 8 foot by 6 foot. That's 2.4 meters by 1.8 meters, and over in the far corner of my workshop, which is literally 2 meters away, I've got an AC400 up on the ceiling to take away the fine dust. But I've also got behind the actual recording studio a Camvac extractor, and the Camvac extractor is fed round to the back of the lathe so that it's taking away the dust from there as well. In conjunction with that, what I'd like to do is wear a mask. The very least I would wear is a paper mask, but these are a good mask. These are made by a company called Ellipse. You can get dust only, or you can get dust, fumes and smoke. And this is the dust, fumes and smoke one. It's about £10 more expensive than the dust only, but believe you me, it's worth the extra tenner. Especially if you're going to start using your solvent stains, your chestnut finishes that have got solvents in them as well. Very, very good. The spirit stains, it keeps the odour from the spirits away. So it's ideal for that sort of environment, and also if you're doing pyrography, for smoke. So there we are. We've got our lungs protected, we've got our eyes protected, we've got our clothing protected as well with the smock. If you really get into wood turning, your lungs are the most important things to protect. What I would suggest is get yourself an air cap like this. This is an air cap. This one happens to be an air cap 3. The air cap 4 now, the battery on the 3 goes into the back pocket of the smock, but the 4 now has a battery in the back here, and it's much lighter and it's ideal. So something like that is definitely worth investing in. Well, I hope you enjoyed that health and safety introduction that I've given you. The only thing that I've done is I've actually improved my helmet that I use for when I'm sanding. And you will see during the presentation that I'm using what's called a Rutland's air purifying mask. Basically what it does, it actually draws air in through a filtering on a battery on the back belt, and that goes up into the mask and brings it down, and that maintains the safest possible way for me to turn and sand. So you will see throughout the presentation my new mask, which is a Rutland's air purifying filtered mask. That's it there. It's a high impact visor. It has a hose that goes into the battery on the back, and it just looks after my nose and my lungs. So I would highly recommend something like that to protect your nose and your lungs. All said, I want you to have a lovely time, enjoy yourself. I hope that you enjoy the presentation that you're going to see, and that you have many years of safe turning and making happy shavings.